Great start. Now we have another big brand working globally. And this brand, and it's Unilever, takes measurement very seriously indeed. So it's my pleasure on your behalf to welcome Anna Kepka, Media Insight Director, Europe and North America.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for invitation, Barry. It's a pleasure to be here and to represent Unilever. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the digital reality. So, how Unilever works with digital, how do we test it, how do we think that why this is so important. Let's look on the first slide. Why is digital important? Digital platforms have seen significant growth in penetration. But what is more important is the amount of time spent on the internet and mobile platforms. The increase in time spent online and on mobile is not at the cost of TV. By understanding this consumer behavior, it highlights the necessity to understand how to develop the best creative that engage our consumers and delivers relevant value-add content. Now, why should we test digital ads? Look at this number. What this number means to you. This is exactly the number of seconds that you have to capture a consumer attention online. Let's put it under the test. Please raise up hands, anybody of you that remembers an ad that you have seen yesterday online. That's exactly what I thought. That's exactly how it is. So imagine, if you don't remember how the hell, sorry for this word, how our consumers can remember the ad. They cannot. So, okay. This is due to digital ad blindness. This is how we call it. Consumers naturally block out looking at the top and right side of the screen, which is primarily where most of the digital ads run. In case you aren't familiar with this, you're looking at a heat map from an eye tracking study. The red shows the intensity of where the person is looking. Green indicates they are looking at there for a short period of time. The ads on the page are outlined. You can see that the consumer is not looking at the ad. This is ad blindness. Another challenge with measuring digital is that it's very different than TV. As you can see on the left side, you can have ads that are 15, 30 seconds, 25 seconds, whatever, but it's really, really few. You have, on the right side, just an example, you have 100 waves, different types of ad units. There is no consistency also across the market. As an advertiser launching a global campaign and developing assets, this is something to be concerned with. So how do we work at Unilever? In Unilever, everything starts with the consumer insight. You need to understand where, when, why, and how consumers are using the different media channels, and how brands fit into their lives. And an example of this, in Asia, we found out that young man, our axe consumer, uses his mobile phone as a wake-up service. It's pretty common, probably not only in Asia, but everywhere. If you leverage traditional surveys about this guy, you will find out that consumption data, such as that he has a phone. Brilliant. And so what? So by conducting consumer insight work, the Axe team took this insight and developed an activation program that had our Axe Angels develop wake-up calls. The guys could pick up which call they wanted. In addition to having an insight, you need to really understand how they use the different digital and mobile platforms, so you develop engaging creating for each platform. Many companies take their TV commercial and make it into a banner or display ad. It's important to develop the right creative for the right ad to deliver the best experience to a consumer. Having said all of this, to get the most out of your digital campaigns, which means get the strongest consumer engagement and brand impact to drive a positive ROI, you need to develop a framework. that enables you to continue to optimize your digital assets from beginning to end. You need to remember about pre-testing, in-market optimization, and post-campaign. Now, what about pre-testing? Let's look on the digital pre-testing. How does it differ from the regular TV ad pre-testing? Well, you will get the same metrics. However, you're going to get a little bit more of KPIs. The first thing to remember is that all digital preview tests will include eye tracking to understand in a cluttered environment that has ad blindness, if consumers are focusing on our ads. The testing environment needs to replicate one that our bright ad would appear on in context. All ads on testing page need to be interactive to replicate a true consumer experience. It is also important to test multiple types of digital ad units, e.g. video ads, gaming ad units, display ads with different characters. Test relevant brand metrics that make sure your key message is breaking through. The challenge that everybody faces, and we also, is to put only 1-2 key messages in a digital display ad. The cool thing about digital is that you have the ability to optimize your creative while you are in market. In the past, think about it. How many times you have tested your ad and then you tested your ad, you waited for the results, the ad went out from air, and then you said, oh my God, if only I knew that before. Oh my God, I would have changed that and that and that. This is something that we are all facing. Now, there are various ways to optimize while in market. So one way is to leverage dynamic advertising tools. They aren't in all market, but I bet they will be there soon. You provide various different entities, images, call to actions copy. Then the ad automatically combines the various assets, based on which combination of elements consumers click will identify the best combination that drives strong consumer engagement. You can test creative real time. You watch the consumer response to the ad and adjust the creative and or placement based on the consumer response. Facebook ads are another place where you can also do this easily. Just to give you an example, it's really funny when you have your web page where your consumers, you see that there's a traffic, and then you can allow your consumer even to play with the ad. So he is putting this in the way he thinks it's attractive. In-market optimization enables creative to be changed on the fly, as illustrated in this example. The DAF team has a media buy on the weather channel and developed 2 pieces of creative, one for rainy weather and one for humid weather. Then when the weather changes, the creative is changed, which is delivering relative creative to the consumer as a relevant time in a relevant place. Ultimately, we would track consumer response and see if this type of optimization delivers a strong digital ROI. Another optimization approach is to watch the consumer response to creative ad units. Then to drive stronger consumer engagement, work with the creative agency to revise the creative while in market. This example illustrates how making simple changes to the creative drove improved consumer response. There are several research tools that can measure the effectiveness of digital ads on brand metrics and attributes. One of them is the digital ad effectiveness research. This research tool can measure the impact across multiple digital assets to identify the most impactful ad units in the campaign. The second research tool, cross-media effectiveness study, tracks the impacts of layering different media channels on brand metrics and attributes. I will share with you one example, my favorite one, that is called Super Nice. Why my favorite? Privately, I have to say that I'm Polish, I live in France, and my husband is Brazilian. And this is an example from Brazil. So Super Nice. This is one metric we watch is time spent with creative ad online. In Super Nice, we inverted the typical employer-employee relationship. opposed to what happens in a typical home in Brazil. It was Nice who convinced her employer, Nice is a housemaid, to convince her employer to use Omo Liquid Super Concentrated. The sitcom Super Nice premiered in 3 websites on the digital environment, which was the project hub. Our agencies worked in collaboration to make sure the content would be amplified into a rich channel mix. Content adaptations were made for TV, radio, magazine, and electronic billboards. Nice became aspirational for both housewives and who wanted to hire her and housemates who took her for a role model. We then gave a lift to our character as a housekeeping expert, and she took the product everywhere. It was really nice to see that Nice gained a weekly sketch in the most watched feminine TV show in Brazil and a column about housekeeping in a magazine. Nice writes daily on her blog and personally interacts with users in Facebook, Twitter, and Formspring. A Super Nice legion of 150 supermarket sales promoters dressed as our character was also born. Ultimately, we want to be able to read the ROI on our digital campaigns. In many markets, this requires a significant spend, capturing actual impressions versus planned impressions to fit into the model and having quality data in a market to model. Once you have your ROI results and look at the trends within a category or within a brand, develop a series of hypotheses that you need to explore to help understand the results. In closing, you have many opportunities throughout the funnel to continuously improve your digital communication to deliver a positive ROI and consumer engagement. You just have to remember about the framework: pre-testing, in-market optimization, and post-campaign. Thank you.
I'll go over to this microphone, it might be easier. Okay. So thank you, Anna. Can I ask for the first question?
Excellent. You had a slide there right at the end about return on investment. Could you give me a little bit more detail about how, what that's actually measuring in terms of ROI and how you link that back to overall business objectives?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so always the biggest question that we have is what does it mean for the business, right? How can you, what are you gaining from the business whenever you are posting on the Facebook, whenever you are gaining more fans, whenever you are having a lot of tweets? So I cannot share with you details, of course, but in Unilever we have invented a tool that is measuring right now how big level of fans you should have on the Facebook in order to get your business response and to have your sales in store. The same for Twitter, the same for the other social listening tools.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anna, a question from me. Tell us, if you will, how the Global Insights team work. You report to Patty Wakeling
yes.
in the States. Perhaps
yes.
you'd tell us about it, because it's a real commitment.
Yes, so you're asking about Global Media Insight or Global Insight team, because these are...
your choice.
Okay, so just to tell you how it is in Unilever. So we have Consumer Market Insight team, and within the Consumer Market Insight team, there are 4 pillars that are working on different insights. So there is Media Insight, there is Shopper Insight, there is Analytic Insight, and there is a Local Insight. And how do we work whenever we have global projects? Usually we source from each of the markets local insights, and then we try to map them and cluster countries in order to create a right ad or right digital platform for the certain countries. And so this is like a really long process. And how do we work with Patty in Media Insight team itself? So Patty Wakeling is a global director for Media Insight workstream. I am responsible for Europe and North America, and I have my counterpartner in Asia, Feng Jun. And we work together gathering insights from different clusters. We work together on strategic business partnering and trying to find the novelties on the market, new agencies, new approaches, what else we can do to be ahead of consumer. And every time when we think that we are ahead of consumer, we are, bloody hell, we are still behind. So every time when we think that we really understood how the Facebook works, then finally we have, oh, Pinterest, what's going on in Pinterest? What is Pinterest? So this is our job, and this is what we do. So it's like every day we spend hours on the internet, every day we meet with our business partners, we try to understand the consumer needs, and then to respond it with some projects.
I remember when I had a telephone call with Patty Wakeling some months ago. She said, we'll be there in Dublin, but Barry, you need to know the consumer is way ahead of us,
exactly.
despite what we do. So
Exactly.
interesting.
Exactly.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.